Hello everyone, welcome back to Breaking News Nigeria. Like my people, it is really heartbreaking and shameful. The current Christian Association of Nigeria, C.A.N, the very body that should be defending Christians, now seems to be colliding with the Nigerian government to deny that there is a Christian genocide happening in our own country. Like the federal government of Nigeria has initiated diplomatic engagement with the United States government following fresh allegations by American lawmakers accusing Nigeria of complicity in state-backed persecution and genocide against Christians. So instead of addressing the killings, the destruction, and the constant persecution going on in various parts of the North and Middle Belt, the Nigerian government is channeling its energy into damage control, trying to convince the world that everything is fine. Now, my people, if the same people can use this kind of energy, like this kind of seriousness, to tackle insecurity, banditry, and terrorism, and the killings of innocent citizens, we will not even be here discussing whether it's a Christian genocide or a Muslim genocide. But because this time the United States has raised the matter, because sanctions might soon come down on some of these corrupt politicians, suddenly the Nigerian Senate and government have woken up. Anyway, guys, I would love you guys to listen to what Joseph Okechukwu have to say about the Christian Association of Nigeria. You guys will need to listen to him. And please, guys, if you're coming across my channel for the first time, do well to hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video. So, guys, watch this video from what Joseph Okechukwu said, and I'm going to be right back.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, so Christian Association of Nigeria. I just read that you guys have gone to the media, as expected, to dismiss the claim of Christian genocide in Nigeria. I read that. I wasn't told, I read it. One Abimbola from Christian Association of Nigeria has gone to tell the whole world that all of this is just noise. It's just some foreign actors trying to undermine the government of the day. Yes, you can fight against terrorism, help and support, let's fight terrorism, but all of this thing, it's not true. The terrorists, they kill everybody. You know as much as I do, yes, terrorists kill everybody. They kill Christians, they kill Muslims. But there has never been any question, any doubt whatsoever as to whether Christians are being systematically eliminated to the point of genocide in this country called Nigeria. There has never been a question. Because you don't have the figures. I posted the figures recently because you guys will not go and take your time to get the numbers of casualties. Some other people did it for you. As at this year, 2025, it's about 125,000 Christians and about 60,000 Muslims. And you tell me there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria? And yet Nigeria is about the worst place to be a Christian? And yet Nigeria recently became the country with the worst life expectancy. And you tell me Christian genocide is not happening. You guys are cursed. You know, the Christian Association of Nigeria has been a very active and vibrant arm of any government that is in power. You guys have never in your lives been on the side of Christians. You have never openly made any major move to say that you are angry with what is happening to Christians in Nigeria. I've never seen any move, no action. You are Christian Association of Nigeria. Tell me what time in the history of your formation, especially since Boko Haram had dawned on Nigeria, that you guys ever took a decision and made a move to challenge the government narrative or position on the killings. Not once. And today you are here again defending the actions of the government of the day. At the time that people are being killed, Christian villages, Christian farms are being completely taken over by terrorists. When they kill some Muslims, you'll be like, oh, but they are killing Muslims too. So because of that, there is no Christian massacre, there is no Christian genocide. Christian Association of Nigeria, I hope and pray that Christians all over the country, Nigeria, will know that you guys are not Christians. That even if you are fake Christians, and that you are not there to protect or fight for the interest of Christians. I said it on record. And we can go back into memory lane and look at all of your antecedents, all of them anti-Christian. You guys are a curse on the body of Christ. And all I can say is, may the God of heaven rebuke all of you one by one. You see, because of tribe and politics, you will now whitewash something that is going to affect so many people. Even if the foreigners who are campaigning against this government for their inaction over Christian massacres, even if they have an ulterior motive, even if there's something else they have in mind, why would you stand there and sugarcoat something that is known to even an unborn child, that there is a massive unfolding Christian genocide in Nigeria? We don't need Americans to tell us. Are you guys sick in your minds? You stupid things and claim you are Christian. So Christian who? Help is on the way. Help is on the way. One way or another. God will see his people through. Oh, he will see his people through. Trust me. If it's for you guys, all these hopeless political associations, if it is for you people, all you are doing is canvassing for prayers all over the place. Pray for Nigeria, pray for Nigeria. Do not demarket Nigeria. Do not speak evil of Nigeria. But you don't want to look at the very foundational problem that Nigeria has. You are sitting down there saying absolutely nothing when the president of the federation gave only 2 ministerial slots to Igbo people, and you guys look at the injustices and how they have vowed that no Igbo man will ever rule Nigeria, and you look at the injustice, nobody is allowed to speak about it, but you're telling Igbos who are inside your churches to pray for Nigeria. And psychologically, you're seeing the people are being traumatized by injustice. What is the essence of church if it is not to support justice over injustice? If it is not to fight for the oppressed? Because church is business for Nigerians, is a political tool of control in Nigeria. That's why nobody will pay attention when it comes to defending the injustice meted on other people, like the Igbo people. You will say, oh no, you see, church is church. We don't get involved in politics. But when it comes to whitewashing the lie that is putting a dent on the government of the day, you will get the church involved in praying. You will start speaking up. You will start having protests. 1 million man march, shutting down Ojota, doing all these things, but you can't get involved in the other acts of injustice. You fake people. I say it again. The help is on the way. By the special grace of God, one way or another. God bless you.
My people, it's really heartbreaking and shameful that the current Christian Association of Nigeria, C.A.N, the very body that should be defending Christians, it now seems to be colliding with the Nigerian government to deny that there's a Christian genocide happening in our country. Now, the federal government of Nigeria has initiated diplomatic engagement with the United States government following fresh allegations by American lawmakers, which is Senator Ted Cruz, accusing Nigeria of complicity in state-backed persecution and genocide against Christians. So instead of addressing that killings, the destruction, and the constant persecution going on in various parts of the North and Middle Belt, the Nigerian government is channeling its energy into damage control, trying to convince the world that everything is fine. You can imagine. So tell me, my people, If the same people can use this kind of energy, this kind of seriousness to be, the way they are saying that no, nothing is happening in Nigeria, the way they're all pretending that everything is fine, if they can use that same energy to tackle insecurity, banditry, terrorism, and the killings of innocent citizens, we would not even be here discussing whether it's a Christian genocide or a Muslim genocide. But because this time, the United States has raised the matter, because sanctions might soon come down on some of these corrupt politicians, suddenly, the Nigerian Senate and government have all woken up. They are now in a hurry to clarify and defend Nigeria's image before the world. When it concerns the lives of poor Nigerians, they all keep quiet. But when it concerns fuel price, electricity tariff, education or healthcare, they drag their feet. But the moment something touches their personal interest, they start running, helter skelter. Now, this shows you one bitter truth. These people are not representing us, the ordinary Nigerians. They are representing themselves, their pockets, and their political interests. If truly they cared, the Christian Association of Nigeria should have stood up long ago, shouted and demanded justice for every pastor, for every church member, and every Christian family or attacked or displaced in their villages. But what are they doing now? They are defending the government, saying there's no Christian persecution in Nigeria. Let's tell ourselves the truth. A nation that cannot speak honestly about its problem cannot solve them. If the government and the Christian Association of Nigeria continue to deny the obvious, how would the world even take us serious? The world sees what's happening. They read the report, they watch the videos, and they know the truth. The Nigerian are now, it's very heartbreaking that they are now supporting the Christian Association of Nigeria are now supporting the Nigerian government. They are saying that there's nothing like a Christian killing going on. You can imagine. Now, these same people who are supporting the government's narrative that, oh, there's no Christian genocide, the terrorists are killing both Muslims and Christians. Yeah, that's what they're saying. But let's be honest, when you look deeply at the communities that are being wiped out, the villages attacked, the farmland destroyed, who are the main victims? Go and check yourself. It's mostly Christian communities in Southern Kaduna, Plateau, Benue, Taraba, and parts of Niger State. So who are they deceiving? If the government truly wanted to solve insecurity, they won't be spending time defending themselves before the US. They will be focusing on how to protect lives, whether Christian or Muslim. But no, they prefer propaganda over progress. Now, guys, I would love you guys, to listen to what Buba also have to say concerning this issue. And please drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll be right back. Watch this video, guys.
I'm speaking to every one of you Nigerians, and I want us to take note of this. We all have, I keep saying it, we have a responsibility to defend and protect the integrity of our country. We also have a responsibility to make sure that this country do not go into the point where we continue to ride on deception. Truth is truth, and truth must not be covered for anything. If there is anything that has been brought up, we must work together to see to an end to this reality. There is this issue that is ongoing about the genocide in Nigeria against the Christians or the Middle Beltans. It is true. We can't deny it. Before the militants and some of the Islamic militants began to kill some of the Hausas in Zamfara and other places, we all know that Christian communities were totally displaced. And we have recorded tens of thousands of Christians in the northern Nigeria that have been killed and their communities have been taken away. This is genocide. What is the meaning of genocide? I mean, the English definition is there. What genocide means. Now, I want you, except you are an enemy of Nigeria, but if you know that you're passionate and you're patriotic about the state of this country, then we must share this among ourselves and speak the truth to ourselves and agree with the reality of what is on ground. I have had some of the special assistant media and all of that to the president coming out to say there is no genocide in Nigeria. It's a lie. Absolute lie. Just look at it. From in 2025, over 7,000 Christians were killed. Now, in just 2025, 7,087 Christians were killed in 220 days of 2025 alone. Now, daily average Christians that are being killed per day is 32 Christians per day that are being killed in this country. Another record, in 2024, 3,100 Christians were killed. In 2023, 4,118 Christians were killed. Between the period of October 2022 to September 2023, from the documents that we have, 4,118 Christians were killed. We all know about the Christmas massacre that was coordinated by the Fulani militias on the plateau in 2023. You know that 300 Christians were massacred. So you don't talk about Benue. Just within 2023, 500 Christians were killed throughout 2023 in Benue. And you go to this community, I have been there. The Christians are not there any longer. They have been displaced. So there is genocide in Nigeria. And so nobody can tell us lies when we know we have lost so much of our brethren. I have joined in the burial and the mourning of tens of thousands of Christians that have been destroyed and killed in this great country. All I encourage the Nigerian state is to rise up to occasion. Whether it is an attack on a Muslim, whether it is an attack on a church, we must stop it. There is genocide going on. And people are being eliminated, taken away from their community. And I want to say again, we cannot allow a one-party system in this country. It is not healthy. As much as we give our support to the system and the government to succeed, Nigeria cannot survive on one-party system. And I want to say to all these selfish, self-centered politicians, it is time you rethink your actions. Corruption among you must stop, and you must rise up for this time to make sure that Nigeria is salvaged and that together we fix this country. May God help every Nigerian, and may God continue to watch over the system and make things work for the good of everyone. God bless you. Share this.
We start today's show with the fallout from Nigeria's House of Representatives this past week, fully rejecting all accusations of religious persecution and genocide against Christians in Nigeria. So officials here are calling it a misleading narrative, one that really gained steam after U.S. Senator Ted Cruz first promoted it in a post on X. So Cruz had said that officials in Nigeria are ignoring and even facilitating the mass murder of Christians by Islamic jihadists. So now, Nigerian officials are calling for a diplomatic and domestic response to Cruz's comments and his new proposed legislation in the U.S. Senate, which seeks to designate Nigeria as a, quote, country of particular concern over alleged violation of religious freedom. We'll start with the story of U.S. Senator Ted Cruz and his comments about, allegations of Christian genocide in Nigeria. I think it's especially interesting whenever the U.S. or we hear U.S. government officials come to discuss what's going on in Nigeria, because honestly, it doesn't happen very often. So what was your reaction to Senator Cruz's comments and also the response to the Nigerian government as well?
Thank you very much. I think one major thing that we need to learn in this country, especially under this administration, it is not so unique to this administration. It has been the same thing with many others, especially the past one under Buhari. We are somehow unnecessarily reactive. We don't seem to respond to issues in patterned diplomatic manners. Anybody outside this country, from any other country, could make any statement, whether disparaging or a statement of fact, about Nigeria. Remember that Nigeria is not in isolation from other. We belong to the Committee of Nations. And this country has ambassadorial representatives of many countries, especially the United Nations, with whom we do a lot of things, and we have many bilateral relationships and agreements. So when statements are made, we should look at those statements and see the merit or the demerit, and then make appropriate responses that will show that our response is not frenetic. For example, like my people say, when you leave the leg of the frog and hold the taproot of a tree, you lose the frog. And that is what we normally do. Even under the previous administration, we're usually very reactive. And so most of the time we lose the substance. It is in the public domain that when the attacks started from Boko Haram and other insurgents, it looked very clearly, and they stated the objective that they wanted to Islamize Nigeria. And it looked very clearly that the targets were Christian organizations, outfits, and individuals. Even as we speak, many priests, very hardly did you hear or do you hear that imams have been kidnapped and all that. But they have made a feast of kidnapping reverend fathers, especially of the Roman Catholic faith. We see that every day, we hear that. And you cannot say that the United States does not have ears. This is in the open, and people wailing and crying. And some of the time, some organizations or NGOs from that area, including some government outfits, will advance some aids, and we gladly accept. So why are we pretending like the ostrich? The issue is that, yes, there have been lately some attacks that give the impression that they are now unable to reach certain targets. So they are now dealing with those who are available, including the first time they attacked some a mosque somewhere in Borno State. And I will vividly hear somebody in the National Assembly who expressed tremendous shock that they were now even attacking their fellow Muslims. And I was asking myself, was the plan against the Christians exclusively? So when people, and the statement was made in the public domain. So what the Nigerian government and the people in this administration should do is to show that even though that was the initial plan, because terrorists are terrorists, what if they planned to do that in order to cause religious war? What if they did that to portray the government of the day as anti-Christianity? What if they did that to cause mayhem in Nigeria in order for them to be able to advance their cause? So the government and its representatives should be more deep thinking. They should do more introspection. And there are a number of people who seem to be feasted on the expressed action of these terrorists. And so you see them showing support even on television. And we see them going to hold meetings and so on and so forth. And the report would have been in the public domain that 2, 3, 4 days earlier that these people committed mayhem in certain locations. And some other people are holding meetings with them, with their own guns and ammunition with them. So I think the main thing now is for the government to look at itself and see what has gone wrong and demonstrate good faith. We have a Muslim ticket here. It cannot happen that Christian ticket will be allowed by some very fundamentalist religious bigots. But when you find that you are bending your neck and somebody is using stone to finish it, it looks as if you are a weak person. So I think it is important that the government should change its attitude and refine-tune its response. The response to me is not deep. It's frenetic, it's reactive, and it's superficial. It cannot scratch the surface, because you are saying that the man who made that statement in the U.S. Congress floor is a foolish man. But we know that senators in that climb are usually more serious than what we have down here about, I think they talk about take a bow and things like that. So we need to be a little bit more serious, and we shouldn't dance naked in the public domain.
And Dr. Naji, I want to press you a little bit more on that. When you say that we should be more serious, what tangible steps should the Nigerian government take to actually yield to something that will be to our benefit? Because I think we often see reports, we often see comments, but what can actually be done? We can even give a timeline. What can be done in the next 2 years to improve how we're seen globally as a country?
If you recall the history of the handling of the insurgent, even ordinary insurgent, not even the Boko Haram, by the previous administration, and then the carryover of certain attitudes in the current dispensation, at a time so many corpses were being exhumed or buried, the former president Buhari asked the wailing governor of Benue State then that he should go and make peace with his neighbors. That was too simplistic and completely unforgivable for a commander-in-chief, you know. Even if his own family was fighting with another family, as the president, he needed to make peace and speak more objectively so that there will be reconciliation. So given the impression that it was the governor that was incapable of accommodating the people who were obviously on a mission to grab their land, who were provoking them by destroying their farms with their cattle. They say it's a communal header farmer. It's not a conflict. It's an attack, flagrant attack. And the current dispensation where you find a driver who is using one leg to pedal the throttle and using the other one to apply brake, he will never get to Enugu from Shagamu. He will never do that because the vehicle will stagnate. So when you have some military personnel fighting, sweating it out in the front against these dastardly groups, then you find a particular view on television glaringly showing some people with their arms and ammunition in military fatigues, where you have security agents and the civil authorities in certain states discussing with them in their domain. Doesn't show seriousness. It doesn't show seriousness. The National Security Advisor will see that. The Commander-in-Chief, even if he did not see it, would have been briefed. He ought to have taken some.
My people, have you guys noticed something? That each time foreign countries like the US or UK call out Nigeria, our leaders suddenly wake up. But when Nigerians cry, shout, and beg for help, they pretend not to hear. Why? Because they only react when it affects their international image or their bank accounts abroad. That's just the bitter truth. Remember how they stayed silent when villages were burned in Plateau and Benue? But once America mentioned sanctions, they rushed to hold diplomatic meetings. Who are they trying to impress? The world, or is it their conscience? Now, the Christian Association of Nigeria was once a moral voice in this country. Today is behaving like a political department of the federal government. Instead of speaking truth to power, they are defending the same people who are silent while Christians are being slaughtered. The same Christian Association of Nigeria that used to organize prayers and protests during past governments is now quiet, or even helping to clean up government image before the world. My people, this is not leadership. This is a betrayal of faith. Go to Southern Kaduna, entire communities are erased. Go to Benue, thousands are displaced. Go to Plateau State, farmers can't go to their lands anymore. Are these ghosts or are these lies? How can the government say there is no genocide when there are mass graves, burned churches, orphans and widows everywhere? Who are they even deceiving? The Nigerian government spends more time managing its international reputation than solving its domestic problems. They are hiring PI firms, sponsoring conferences, and hosting foreign diplomats, all to deny reality. Propaganda can't bury the truth forever. Instead of fixing insecurity, they are fixing narratives. Instead of protecting citizens, they are protecting their image. Where are the so-called religious leaders? Where are the wealthy Christian politicians? Their silence is deafening because for them, as long as their families are safe abroad, they can't care what happens to the poor. Nigeria has become a country where leaders see human life as statistics, not as souls. Let's not forget, the United States and European countries are not blind. They have the intelligence reports. They know what's happening in Nigeria. They are seeing the pattern, the targeted attacks on Christian-dominated areas. That's why U.S. lawmakers are calling it state-backed persecution. But instead of cooperating, the Nigerian government is busy arguing and denying. Another dangerous strategy the government uses is to say, oh, it's not Christian persecution. Both Christians and Muslims are dying. That's how they dilute the truth. But the statistics don't lie. When you check who's being attacked, which villages are being burnt, and who's being displaced, you will see the pattern clearly, majority Christian communities. So yes, everyone suffers from insecurity, but this particular pattern of targeted killing is undeniable. A government that denies its people's pain is moral bankrupt. You can't lead people you don't value. You can't claim unity when certain groups are treated like they don't matter. When leaders prefer denial over responsibility, it's a sign that the system has collapsed morally and spiritually. What Nigeria needs now is that it's not more lies. We need truth. Let there be an independent investigation. Let the government open its book. If they claim there's no persecution, let them show proof and not propaganda. Until there's justice for every innocent Nigeria killed, there can be no peace in this land. My people, it's time for us to rise and speak the truth. Whether Christian or Muslim, we must all reject a government that values power over life. Because today it might be Christians, tomorrow it could be anyone. So guys, let us look into Mazi Nnamdi Kalu's case. You guys know that Mazi Nnamdi Kalu has been in detention for so long now, and his last court case, they were expecting the court to free him because of his health issues, but they did not, because the medical association, Nigerian Medical Association, could not submit his medical reports, and people are asking why. A lot of people have come out to talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kalu's case. Yes, lots of people have come out. So they said that even Showore has started to organize a protest for his release, because he said injustice to one is injustice for all. So Showore came out to organize a protest, and everybody said they are going to lend their voice. Atiku Abubakar said he is lending his voice. Jonathan said okay, he's going to also lend his voice. A lot of people, there's a time that a lot of people have been saying that, oh, P2B doesn't talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kalu. P2B talks about Mazi Nnamdi Kalu, but it's just that he's from Southeast and he's also a politician. He's running for a political position to be the president of Nigeria. So you don't expect P2B to be coming out, to be talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kalu every time. He normally talks about Mazi Nnamdi Kalu, but he doesn't come out to say it every time. So guys, I would love you guys to listen to what a lot of people have to say about this Mazi Nnamdi Kalu's detention. This man has been in detention for so long, and he needs to be released. Enough is enough. Showore said that okay, 20th October is going to be a protest for Mazi Nnamdi Kalu, and people who are supposed to be coming out is he tagged P2B and tagged Soludo. And for me, I've seen a lot of places where P2B talked about Mazi Nnamdi Kalu. I have seen a lot of them, which I'm going to be showing you guys in my next live section. So guys, listen to what these people are saying about Mazi Nnamdi Kalu, and I'll be right back. Please drop your thoughts in the
I won't give you that
Listen
gist.
to this, guys.
In 1967, the Nigerian Civil War was barely 3 months old. Right? Nigerian soldiers advanced into Asaba, and the people of Asaba came out en masse to welcome them. They all wore white, carried green leaves, shouting, "One Nigeria, one Nigeria." But you see, days prior, the Biafran army led by Joseph Achuzia had blown up the Onitsha bridge, which meant the Nigerian soldiers not go fit easily advance into Onitsha. This pissed off the soldiers in Asaba, and without authorization from the federal government in Lagos, they separated the men and the boys from the women. These people who are dressed up in white to receive them and welcome them, shouting "One Nigeria," and they slaughtered all of them. One of the people killed in that exercise was the late Sidney Asiodu, who had represented Nigeria in the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. Alas, Sidney could not run for his life. He died there. This battalion of soldiers were led by Colonel Moritala Mohammed. On October 8th of 1967, the few men who had not gone for that parade were rounded up. They dug mass graves and put all these bodies that had been executed the previous day, about 700 of them, and they made these young men to start to cover the graves with sand. One of the men in his account says as he was covering, he saw his brother, and the brother said, "Are you going to bury me alive?" and begged, because the brother was still conscious. But the soldiers were standing by, barrels cocked, and said, "Listen, go ahead or you die." with tears in his eyes, he proceeded and buried his brother alive with the other dead bodies there. This is a sad history in Nigeria, but don't take my word for it. These are not my stories. You can go and check University of South Florida Digital Library, the Asaba Memorial Project. Type it, or you travel, go there, you see for yourself, or you can read Blood on the Niger by Lling Okechukwu. Everything I said is there. It's 58 years ago this happened. Today, I just say, make I share some history with you now. Peace.
Who go talk, death in my pocket. Because we know say, now those honorable members, those politicians, now then they destroy, they do so many dirty work, make it be saying Nandeka. Who go talk, death in my pocket. Because we know say, now those honorable members, those politicians, now then they destroy, they do so many dirty work, make it be saying Nandeka dey there. Sunday when we always do his own, on a release them, even in buy house for Germany, Nandeka own, waiting happen. The bandits, or they see their own, or they see how they put them for military. We know, all of us know. And then they see love for East at East. Our elder statesmen for East. Why not release and make we see if this thing will continue? Our president, Ahmed Tinubu, Nandeka don't dey there too much, you know. I greet people of Nigeria. I greet people of the world. General Savage, I greet honor. The man who honor like and the man who honor hate, I greet honor. Dirty water, the arms of the cherubim, the kwikwi of the seraph, the good and the bad and the ugly, I greet honor. They don't take and never talk about Nnamdi Kanu. And you don't go where. Nnamdi Kanu don't dey prison too much. No be like this. Court go give order. The government go disobey the order. Even though you sleep your wife, now like this. And they see the hatred we are Southeast Day. No, you know they hide again. We are Southeast Day. And the hatred also they from us. People from East, now then they set this in Nnamdi Kanu. Now then the press make it no comment. We all know, no be hiding thing. But the rule of law, make we obey rule of law. Our president, Ahmed Tinubu, Nnamdi Kanu don't dey there too much. You know go well. Okay, make we see now. You know, see Fulani people. See how government, both governors, how honorable members, how would they negotiate with Fulani? The head go come out to do meeting for upland. Even the worst part, they give us condition. They give Nigeria government condition. They give governors condition. Waiting happen for Nnamdi Kanu. This one, they come out, they give condition, say they want like this, they want like this. When they talk finish, they go back to desert, go back to bush. Nothing they happen. Nnamdi Kanu, waiting happen. Or I find something just to hold hand. Now make I say, I see the hatred for East here. For North, then they come out, they discuss, they talk. We don't even do it to give them a message. Put them for our military. Put them for uniform. Give them position. We know they do well. We they just show love for one side. We they show hatred for one side. Waiting in the Kalu do what another person never do. The bandits. Or they see their own. Or they see how they put them for military. Even on they say that they carry food, go give them. How they take get all these guns where they get? No be our people. Who go talk? As an don't plan to the kill us, no wahala. They think what I say go talk. Death in my pocket. I am Mr. Death on the pocket. And they carry a waka. Nigeria na go wake up. Masses na go wake up. The oppress is too much from the honorable member, from the politician. Country where people just they do anyhow. If they put law to silence us. And people they use Nnamdi Kanu name they lie. People they use Nnamdi Kanu name they kill people. People they use Nnamdi Kanu name they commit different things. They buy people, they do this thing. We know, all of us know. If you know position, they use Nnamdi Kanu name, they do rubbish. So you go still there. Opposition they kill, they do dirty work, making Nnamdi Kanu still remain there. People they call community war, community robbery, community kidnapping, community stealing, all Nnamdi Kanu. On another they see say this is no go well. When you see white, call them white. You know go well. Our elder statesmen for East. Nnamdi Kanu don't suffer enough. Waiting happen. The oppress and intimidation no be so now. Sunday when we always do his own on a release them, even in buy house for Germany, because a Yoruba man or waiting. And then they see love for East at East. On a day they show us love. On a they show us hatred. Like say we no follow for the country. East no follow for the country. On a tell them. On a tell us. Because we know say now those honorable members, those politicians. Now then they destroy, they do so many dirty work. Make it be saying Nnamdi Kanu dey there. Why not release and make we see if this thing will continue? Some governor they fear for East.
Some Nigerians are now calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. We are seeing these hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu all over social media, including Vice President Atiku Abubakar, activist Omoyo Eleshora, and other Southeast leaders. And I know that this is coming especially after we saw reports from the North Katsina State, specifically of officials holding peace meetings with terrorist leaders under Operation Safe Corridor with pledges of reconciliation. I mean, meanwhile, we know that Nnamdi Kanu, who I believe was discharged at one point in 2022 by the Court of Appeal, remains in detention. And these are the conversations that we're seeing online. Now, how do you reconcile these apparent double standard in the government's approach in dealing with Nnamdi Kanu's case? Now, do you believe there is any sort of ethnic or regional dimension to how the federal government treats security challenges in the southeast versus the northwest?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question, OJ. Clearly, Section 40 of the Nigerian Constitution as amended guarantees the right to peaceful assembly and association. So I'm very happy that despite the veil and the veil of silence that has existed all over the country, Nigerians are waking up to their responsibility and demanding for justice for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And if it takes for them to have a peaceful protest, then that's what it would take. I've endorsed that we all should speak up now. The truth is that in Nigeria there appear to exist two sets of rules. One specifically for the Igbos and another for the other Nigerians, especially in the administration of criminal justice in Nigeria, where an Igbo man, goes through a whole lot of challenges than any other tribe in Nigeria. That bias, I don't know where it exists and comes from, maybe since after the post-Civil War. But we are all Nigerians, regardless of our ethnic backgrounds, regardless of our cultural backgrounds. The same right that exists for a Northerner, for a Yoruba man, for any other tribe otherwise minded, is the same right that should exist for the Igbo man. There shouldn't be any special exceptions. I mean, look at Nnamdi Kanu. See, look at what we are fighting is even to get treatment. There are a whole lot of people in that gap previously that were held by the state that even demanded to go overseas to get treatment for their ailments. But in Nnamdi Kanu, it seems that we have to go 10 steps further, sometimes more challenges, uphill task, to even get the government to consider giving adequate medical treatment to Nnamdi Kanu. You also look at in the administration of criminal justice, the charges that have been put forth to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, when others that were also in the same gap were pardoned or exonerated by the court. At the determination of the court, they were free. But Nnamdi Kanu has been subjected for 10 years in trial. 10 years in trial, and to no end would that happen. So, but as of today, a lot of Nigerians are coming together to say enough is enough. Look at the recent pardon of Mr. President. He pardoned everybody, even those who are drug lords, those who have murdered people in the country. Yet Nnamdi Kanu has not been proved either through the court testimonies of witnesses or otherwise minded that he has committed any offense. Yet he's been subjugated and he's been subjected to almost like his rights as a person have been dehumanized. So what we are asking for is for the government to be able to look critically on the issue of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, to ensure that fundamentally that this is the aspirations and hope of people, especially of the Igbo tribe, that if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is released, it will bring about it will bring security in the southeast. It would enhance productivity, and at the same time allow the Igbos to freely be engaged in various activities that Igbos are running away from because of high crime and criminality, banditry and assassination. So for Mr. President, it would also help Mr. President consolidate his goodwill in the southeast. But for him, and then you look at, I'm sorry to say, but when you look at his prosecution team, every member of his prosecution team are Yoruba. So the judge is Yoruba. It now appears as if it's a war between the Yoruba tribe and the Igbo tribe. It shouldn't be like that. So for us, it is critically important for the government to be circumspect about this, and the Igbos are asking for it, and that this is our this is our hope and aspiration, that the president can consider universally the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, so that Southeast can return to peace, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can come to his family and be engaged in productive activities as he has been previously. That he's demanding for and demanding for the welfare and well-being of his people is not it's not a crime. Right. Anybody can demand for the betterment of their people. After all, their people, which are the Igbos, themselves have felt exceedingly marginalized in this project called Nigeria. But we are Nigerians. We need to come together and work together, hand in hand, to ensure that what is good for the other tribes and what is good for every other person is also good for the Igbo man, and begin to stop this hatred, biases that occur when it's an Igbo man than otherwise stated.
So guys, you guys have listened to what Obi Agocha, said about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Like, you guys know that, this argument started when he was in Senate House. He said that he submitted a letter he submitted this letter to the speaker for 2 months about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and they didn't look into it. And, he was like, what they are doing is not good. And that was what caused the heated argument in the Senate House in Abia State. So now the case has, this case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has become political. Is not longer legal. At this point, Nnamdi Kanu's detention is no longer just a legal issue, it's a political one. The courts have already ruled on several occasions, including the Court of Appeal in Abuja 2022, that he should be released, especially after it was established that his extraordinary rendition from Kenya was unlawful. Yet the government has refused to obey those judgments. That tells you clearly this is no longer about the law, it's about political control and fear of public reaction. Now, it exposes the selective nature of Nigerian justice. We've seen people accused of stealing billions of naira, people who cause economic hardship, and even terrorists and bandits being released, negotiated with, or integrated into society. We've heard so much that the Nigerian government are having peace deal with terrorists and bandits, but only one man, who is simply demanding self-determination through words and activism, is kept in detention for years. This selective justice makes Nigerians feel that certain tribes or voices are not treated equally under the law. If the Nigerian government can release bandits in the name of repentance, why is Kanu's case being handled with such vengeance? Now, the Igbo question and marginalization that everybody's asking, now the Kanu's continued detention has reopened old wounds among the Igbo people, the same wounds of marginalization, injustice, and second-class treatment since the end of the Civil War. To many Igbos, Khan is not just a man, he's a symbol of defiance, a man who voiced what millions have been too afraid to say. Keeping him in detention sends a dangerous message that the government listens only when voice erupts, not when justice is demanded peacefully. Now, national security versus human rights. The government often claims that its release could threaten national security, but the real question here is whose actions are threatening the nation more? One man calling for a referendum, or a government ignoring its own court orders? When a country starts disobeying its courts, it's not just violating one man's rights, it's destroying the foundation of democracy itself. Under President Tinubu, many Nigerians expected a political solution, not more silence. Tinubu himself was once a pro-democratic activist who benefited from public protest and international pressure during the Abacha era. So people expected him to understand what it means to be detained for one's belief. But so far, his administration has shown the same unwillingness to address the matter. It seems they are afraid of the political consequences of releasing Kanu, especially among northern power blocs. We must not forget that this man has been in solitary confinement for years. Reports from his lawyers and family shows his health is deteriorating. Yet the government keeps ignoring medical pleas. This is not justice, this is punishment before trial. Every human being, even a suspect, deserves dignity, fair hearing, and medical care. Nigeria is signatory to international conventions that guarantee those rights. Let's be honest, keeping Kanu locked up has not brought peace to the southeast. In fact, it has made things worse. The region is economically bleeding. Businesses are dying. Insecurity has multiplied. Even the so-called sit-at-home protests are symptoms of a deeper frustration. Releasing Kanu under a political agreement could calm tensions, open dialogues, and restore a sense of inclusion for the southeast. From Anes Ndigbo to PA Ayo Adebanjo, Chief Edwin Clark, Obi Agocha, and even International Human Rights Organization, the calls are loud and clear. Nnamdi Kanu's continued detention is unlawful, unnecessary, and dangerous for national unity. Even other figures like Ahmed Gumi have said that releasing Kanu would help restore peace. So why is the government still playing deaf? No matter how long they keep him, this matter cannot be solved in court. The only true way forward is a political settlement, amnesty, dialogue, and justice. That's how nations heal. South Africa freed Mandela and built peace. Nigeria must do the same if it truly wants to move forward. Now, I've seen a lot of people coming out to attack Showere because of this protest that's going to be happening on the 20th of October. They're saying that, oh, he wants to use this case for his own political gain. Now, this is my own opinion on that. Whether Showere is using it for political gain or not, it's nobody's business. As soon as he came out to stand for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which so many people in the Southeast have not done. Showore is a courageous and brave person. So he came out calling for protests, which so many people in the Southeast, so many leaders and governors in the Southeast have not done because maybe they are not so courageous enough like Showore. Showore is not even an Igbo man, but he's coming out to stand up for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. So, people saying he's doing it for political gain. It's none of your business. Whether he's doing it for political gain or not, the fact is that he's talking about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's constant detention. He's talking about it and he wants him to be released. That is all that matters. So whether he's doing it for political gain or not, if the man is even smart enough, if people are saying he's doing it for political gain, it's for his own benefit. And at the same time, he wants the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. So people who say that he's doing it for political, it's none of your business. Unless he's calling for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and even if he's doing it for political gain, it's fine. How many Southeast leaders and governors have come out to do the same thing that Showore is doing? Anyway, guys, that's what we have for today. Let me know your thoughts below. And also, if you're coming across my channel for the first time, do hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video. And also, drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And thank you.